Okay, do I have your consent to record?
Yes.
Alright, so the purpose of this survey is for me to display that I've learned everything in the course. I picked the research topic. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and the data I'm collecting is your answers. So the first question is on Trump. Actually, that's funny. I texted you that. I forgot that. The GEO Group, right, which is a majority stockholder is BlackRock, and they used to be known as Wackenhut, a private prison industry since like the
Yeah.
1970s. They were one of Trump's biggest donors, one of his biggest campaign donors. They did over like $500,000 in just the first like 2016 alone, and they make billions of dollars every year off of illegal immigration, specifically detention, housing, community supervision, things like that. So if Trump were to build the wall and actually stop illegal immigration, his campaign donors would lose billions of dollars a year. Yet he went on this campaign promise that he's going to build the wall and it has to be legal and all this stuff. So how do you feel about that? Do you reconcile that? Do you make excuses? Like what's your response to that? Do you think Trump lied in order to make billions of dollars for his billionaire buddies, or
Well, the question should be, did he was he building the wall even though they made the donations? And he was building the wall even though they made those donations. So taking the money from BlackRock, you said, correct?
Well, they're like the majority. There's other shareholders too, Vanguard and things like that.
I understand, but
Yeah,
BlackRock is one of them. Taking money from
BlackRock.
looking
Yeah,
at that, he didn't paint himself by not building the wall. He still built the wall.
huh? Interesting. Okay, and the next question is on Nikki Haley, and this one is just for you because you said you support her. So
Okay.
you're a Catholic, right?
Yes.
1 Timothy 2:12 says a woman shall not hold authority over a man, yet you support a woman for president. How do you reconcile that?
A woman shall not hold authority over a man. Uh, he was not talking about the government. He was talking about religion. And remember what Jesus Christ said: "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. What render unto God what is God's."
Interesting. Okay. Huh. Cool. Thank you. I'm gonna pause it now. Okay, so that was more cognitive dissonance from Catholic conservative Trump supporters. What's really fun for me is, well, obviously analyzing what's similar and what's different. I got the other roommate. I'm gonna interview him tomorrow. I don't want to fall behind on my studies, but yeah. What they have in common is they create answers to explain these contradictions between Trump's promises and Trump's actions, despite the fact that they're not Trump and they don't know what Trump was thinking and they don't know what was in Trump's head, etc., etc., etc. Wild stuff. And I find that profoundly interesting. That's just the power of universal cognitive dissonance. Like, they all do the same thing. Like that Nikki Haley question. He said, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's," right? And I asked him this in our private conversation. I'm not going to give any details that dox him or anything, but Caesar was worshipped as a god. He saw himself as a god. That's the biggest idolatry out there. That is bigger than the Roman pagan idolatry, because not only are they worshiping false idols, he is now a man who is claiming that he is God. Like Jesus. What they have in common, Jesus and Caesar. But context for that whole passage, Jesus was not, Yeshua was not the only one claiming to be Moshiach at that time. There was other Jews who were claiming to be Moshiach. And my favorite one was Simeon Bar Kokhba, who led the Bar Kokhba revolt. against Emperor Hadrian. They lasted 2 years. And then the temple got destroyed and they all got slaughtered and whatnot. But one of the things they did during the revolt was broke into Roman banks and in Jerusalem and Judea and reminted the coins to Simeon Bar Kokhba coins. Those coins are still there. I want to buy some. I want to buy Nazi Germany coins, but I also want to buy Simon Bar Kokhba coins. Now, the Bar Kokhba coins are worth a lot more money than the Nazi Germany coins. Right? I can get coins from Nazi Germany with the swastika and the eagle and everything. Very, very aesthetic, beautiful stuff for like $20. I think one Bar Kokhba coin is over $1,000 for like a penny from that time, which makes sense. I mean, that was like 2,000 years ago, of course. And they could be frauds, it could be a scam, it could be an internet scam, but either way, I think it's pretty stinking cool. Like, I'm totally fascinated and intrigued by this stuff. But to the point, so I don't see the connection between render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and a woman shall not hold authority over a man, but this is a common thing that Christians do. They let their religion be altered by money, by greed, right? Oh, how do we know immigration is good? The preacher told me to. Told me so. Yeah, I'm programmed. I'm not a goyim, I'm not a cattle, I'm a sheep. I'm part of the flock. I'm a taxpayer. Same thing. I'm not a goyim, I'm a taxpayer. Okay, you tax cattle. Tithe cattle, calm down. Brr, murr. No critical thinking, no independent thinking skills, pure cognitive dissonance, right? It's not spiritual authority in 1 Timothy 2:12. It's just a woman shall not hold authority over a man. But somehow, and this is funny because this is like a North Carolina guy, but he grew up in New York, pretty conservative. Conservatives stand for nothing. Their values are circumstantial at best. They're just liberals in red hats. And it used to be conservative values that a woman's place was in the kitchen, making babies and washing dishes. Rightfully so. There's a lot of women who love that. There are women who are absolutely fulfilled by being mothers. It's a wonderful thing. In that Citizen Cafe course, there was different women, and you could tell differences just in their faces on the Zoom, right? And so one girl, she was 26, very beautiful. The one who thought I was hot. Oh, yeah. No, she was 20. She was 20. No, she was 19? No, she was 20. She was 20. That's right, she was 20. Or 21, I can't remember. She was pretty beautiful. Oh, my God, yeah. She's my Polish tingling just thinking about her. Sorry. Anyway, she put on a ton of cosmetics, and she was always like fussing with her hair during the Hebrew meetings. Her Hebrew was terrible, but she wore like low-cut shirts, and she had nice boobs. I noticed. Oh, I know. Evil me, right? Kick him out of the group. You notice her tits. But there was another girl who was 19, young Ashkenazi liberal from New York, very woke, very brainwashed. And then there was another one who was in her early 30s to mid 30s, and she had kids and everything. And then there was the older one who was like in her late 40s, early 50s, and that was the one who acted like the biggest whore. That was the old woman, was very man-hungry, right? Very objectifying men sexually, even though she was married. She still wanted younger men. But she, the one with the kids who was married had a glow. Had this happiness about her. She didn't wear any makeup or anything. She didn't put like dye or any of that shit in her hair. She just had a glow. Not only because she was a wife and a mother, but because she was a teacher. So during the day, she was like a mother to 30 kids, right? And you could just tell that glow of family and marriage and, children. it just made her so beautiful, and not even in a sexual way, just in a family like warmth kind of way. It was very, very beautiful, and in my opinion, she was the most beautiful woman in the course. Like, she didn't need any makeup or any of that shit. She was just beautiful because she was, that glow. But back to the point. 1 Timothy 2:12. So it seems to me that Catholics, Christians, conservatives, just like liberals and all the rest of them, if it wasn't for double standards, they would have no standards at all as well, just in a different way. And therefore, they create excuses and mental gymnastics and loopholes to explain their behavior being inconsistent with their beliefs and their doctrine.